What's up, fishaholics? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that is your first time, welcome you to the channel. It's been a while since I've posted a long form video. I've been posting a bunch of shorts and reels, but those of you guys who've kept up with me through all this time, I thank you first off. And second off, you guys would know what I've had going on and what I've been doing. I've introduced you guys to the SniperFoot. This is a sonar mount that you can attach to your trolling motor on a pivot style trolling motor or scissor style trolling motor. You can launch your motor and Livescope or forward-facing sonar at the same time and then still control your forward-facing sonar independently of the trolling motor. So that means you can jump in the spot lock and still control where your transducer points. It's a product that I invented myself, worked hard on. I had a problem that I needed to fix. Once I developed the solution for that problem, I had to thought, man, other people would need this. I could probably sell this. Then came the part of the process where I really had no idea how to get it engineered, how to produce it, other than the ugly prototype that I made out of found parts in my garage. I didn't know how to mass produce it at all. You know, that was way down the line to try to figure that out. Anyway, you know, through this whole process, I learned a new saying of, you know, what my new motto is forgive yourself for not knowing better until you knew better. It took about, I don't know, a few months just to develop the thing and actually make it work and everything. That was the easy part in my book, you know, creating a product or creating a thing that worked. Then came the hard part. Had to find the right people, the right avenues, the funding, you know, to try to make this thing work. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much. I want to show you guys the original prototypes, how it started versus how it's going, because like I said, man, I've gone through in this product and we went through like different testing, different materials that failed. Like, I want to tell you about this really quick. We actually launched this product at the Bassmaster Classic. A lot of you guys saw us there. Thanks for coming by, stopping by and hollering at us. We didn't make any sales at the Bassmaster Classic, but everything happened for a reason. You know, I think, you know, God, the product wasn't ready, you know, so God didn't allow it to happen. We got a ton of interest. You guys, you know, a ton of support, ton of interest. And we really appreciate that. But I thank God we didn't sell any that day or those days. We sold some after, but they were our local people here, you know, in the DFW area. Ultimately, the reason why I'm glad we didn't sell any at the Bassmaster Classic, because we would have got turned back around, because the material that we were using, although it was designed nicely and the product works, the problem that we ran into was it was the wrong material. Once that summer heat rolled around, and most of the time, like as you can see, my boat is garage kept, and you know, it gets hot in here, but it doesn't get super hot in here. I crashed my trailer, and I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that. So I ended up having to park my boat out in the yard, in the driveway, for probably about 2 weeks. And I put the boat cover on, and putting the SniperFoot underneath the boat cover, yeah, let's just say that didn't work out very well, because it got hot under that boat cover, you know, with that sun beating down on the boat. And as you can see right here, when I pulled that boat cover off, the thing was just slumped, man. It just warped and, you know, just kind of melted and warped, separated from the aluminum. The material was just the incorrect material. I can throw blame on that, but that's a whole story that maybe I'll get into in another video. Comment down below. Let me know if you want to hear the story about the engineers that we ran into and who suggested that actual material, you know, but we'll leave that where it is. And thankfully we were able to find better parts guys who were able to, like, actually they looked at that like, why did you do that, first of all, and then like, okay, this is what you need. So with that, we had to, you know, we switched to a different material, and that material, we had to adjust the tolerance specs, because that particular material expanded a little bit more. Just, you know, we're talking about millimeters here, but you know, we had to adjust a few holes here and there to, you know, just for clearance purposes and like clearing and fastening purposes. Yeah, but like, yeah, it's been a long journey, and I do 100% stand behind this product. Like I say, we have warranty on it. We have thoroughly tried this thing out on the Tarova, because that's the trolling motor that I have on my boat. So that's where most of the testing goes. A lot of the parts, you know, came in theory. You know, if it works for the Tarova, then it should work, you know, in theory for a lot of these other things. But since improving the whole product and going through those things, we have put it on the Ulterra, which a lot of people said it couldn't be done. I'm gonna get some video pretty soon, hopefully pretty soon, showing you guys how it works on the old Terror, because you know everybody thinks it can't be done. But it can, has been done, proven, works well, and I'll show you guys. And also we put it on the Ultrex, which is the most requested mount that we got, you know, with feedback from the Bassmaster Classic. Like 70, I think 70 to 75%, maybe 80% of the people who came through the booth was like, hey, if you had this for the Ultrex, I'd buy one right now. And the idea was built and patented based on the pivot style trolling motor. So you have two types of trolling motor. You got your traditional scissor deploy, and then you got your pivot style deploy, which a lot of new motors are coming out with, you know, where the actual shaft of the trolling motor passes through the steering transmission of the trolling motor on the main housing base unit that mounts to your boat. So that thing pivots and then the shaft passes through it. That was the initial problem. That was the thing that I needed to solve in the first place, because I had the Motor Guide XI3 and my buddies were mounting their Livescope to their trolling motors, and you know, were able to stow and deploy it all at the same time, but that just seemed impossible with my particular setup. So I hit the lab, made it work for this one. All right, so the Ultrex, like I said, was the most requested and most commonly used trolling motor out there on the market, especially for bass fishermen. But the design works for the Ultrex as well. We had to develop a mount for that. We've actually tried and tested that one. The only thing is it just doesn't need to pass through the shaft as it would for the Terrova and the pivot style motors. With that being said, we are actually looking for people who would partner with us. When I say partner, we want some people with the different styles of trolling motor who are willing to try this thing out. We can sell it to you at a very, very discounted rate. And in exchange for your feedback on putting it on your boat, applying it to your trolling motor, fishing with it on the water, reporting back to us on anything that would, you know, any problems that you run into. Could it be cable management? It could be, you know, we would like to help work out the kinks. And obviously you'd still have your 100% of your warranty, even though you've gotten it at an extremely discounted price. Like I said, that is part of the R&D that we are wanting to do. So, you know, if you have a trolling motor that I haven't mentioned in this video, and there are several that we have developed parts for, but we haven't been able to like fully try them out on the water. We've tested the fits and things like that, but we haven't been able to actually put them in the field. So, you know, comment down below or contact us via email. And actually you can contact me directly via email. I'll drop my email right here and in the description. So, hey, contact me. Let's get to work on this thing. Let's make this product stand out, and let's get to the water and so you guys can see it in action. Before we go to the water, I want to show you guys the old prototype. I'm gonna have to dig it out and show you guys basically how it was mounted and what it looked like before when I made this thing out of parts in my garage. The fun times. All right. So this is the first iteration of the head unit that we had, logo only on one side. And we had some issues with this breaking in the middle right there on the neck. We readjusted that and solved that problem, made it stop breaking on us. And also changing the material helped a lot with that too, because this is still that stuff that would warp and melt down. And look, a lot of electric tape went into this first original designs. Yeah. Actually, we'll do this in chronological order. Solving the initial problem with the motor guide. I used clamps. I mounted this to the bottom of my XI3, and I used clamps. I cut this out with a Dremel tool, painted it, and put a clamp on it, and put clamps on a pipe, PVC, and all of that. That eventually went to this because I didn't want the clamps, so that eventually went to that. So that would pass through there, something like that. And I had that built on the XI3. This is the one that got the most work out of it while I was making sure this thing worked. And then this is the one for the Terrova. That clamp wrapped around and then bolted on there. It was a lot of work to make it happen, and then this was the motor case, the head unit. So basically, it was something that looked a lot like this, which turned into this. Yeah, so it was a lot like that. And you can kind of see the similarities there. We got that part where it mounted to the shaft of the trolling motor. You got your motor encasement here. I want to appreciate you guys for sticking around this long. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to head out to the water, put this thing in the field and actually working. So I wrap this line around around my trolling motor to keep it from bouncing up and down as I ride. I'm developing products to solve that problem as well. You know, that will also ultimately help the SniperFoot as well. So you gotta be wary of cable management with this thing. I may have found some fish right here, but we got the trolling motor in the water, and I'm just gonna hit this spot lock button real quick. As you can see, my red pointer flag there. I'm gonna turn it right. I'm looking to this side of me. There's some bait. And I'm in spot lock right now, so the boat's gonna be holding me. It's probably gonna spin around because it's trying to hold me that way. But this looks like a good spot to catch some fish. Look like a school of fish right there that I'm looking at. Look at that. All that looks like some good fish right there. Spin it around. It's under the boat. Bait under the boat. But ease of use, guys. I just walked up, put this thing in the water, and I'm ready to fish. I had an idea of where these fish might be today. Now we have to put them on the boat. Throw it out. You can see my bait falling a little bit. There it goes. Turn it a little bit, and there's my bait falling right into those fish. Yep, fell right down in there. Those aren't bass if I didn't get bit yet. That ain't a school of bass. And I say that. See, I just tossed right out where that red arrow is, and there's my bait dropping. It's flowing that way, so I gotta adjust it a tad bit. And it's dropping right on down, right there. Right in the middle of those fish. Yep. So that's that demonstration. I'll do it one more time for you guys. I point out here. And that should be at about 40 feet where it's going to drop. So there's my bait between 35 and 40 feet. Right there. It's dropping. Let me adjust it a little bit just so you can see it. Boom. Again, I'm pointing that red arrow right at it. That red flag right at it. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on this bait because I'm not sure if those are bass, but I'm in spot lock this whole time. And for those bass fishermen that like to fish offshore like that, man, this is perfect for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and spot lock because I'm seeing fish all out here. See bait fish for sure. I might see a bass or two off in there. Now, I'm not going to claim to be the expert at finding these fish using my forward-facing sonar, but, I mean, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's kind of intuitive to me, and if I want to scan for fish on my trolling motor, I generally just point the arrow straight ahead. That way I know the nose of my boat. At that point, generally wherever my boat is pointing, that's what I'm seeing. So then I go and scan and search like that. Okay, that should do it. One way or the other. And see, that thing likes to wrap around there like that. But the design is so that it doesn't really bother it, just because that cable just gonna twist around there. And with this Tarova, it loves to crank and wind itself up, wind and wind. It's so annoying. But eventually it should realize that it's in a bind. And Oh, we're on. Yes, guys, we did it. We did it. Oh, what are these? A bunch of sandies? Guess so. Guess that's what those fish are that I'm seeing. They turning on my bait, and he committed. Ton of fish right there. That's bait. And there's sand bass all around it. Let's see if we can get a largie out of there, though. Let's get rid of this guy. Bye-bye, little guy. Just as easy as it was to put in, it's easy, that easy to put up. And as always, I turn my motor to the side, and I like to turn my arrow to the side or back down underneath, whichever way, to just for ease of cable management. And it's just as simple as that, man. Just to pull it out of the water, just the same simple as putting it in. That was just painless. See, just painless, guys. Let's go to the next spot, see if we can land a fish or get on up out of here. One of the two. And for you shallow water fishermen, aka bank beaters like myself, mind your cables. Always mind your cables. This works well for you as well. I like to put it in like cruise control and just kind of adjust as I need to along the bank and make these pictures up there. And anytime I want to check, I let that cruise control do what it's doing. I just turn my transducer to wherever I want it to point. That's what you holler when you see me. Got him. Overzealous. Damn, you demolished that fluke, didn't you? Live scoping with foot control. Well, I need a new fluke. Bye-bye, little guy. Well, I appreciate you guys for sticking around. And like I said, that has been basically my pride and joy, man. This is what I've been working on the last months. Is when I've been like short of posting and not posting as much, it's because I've been working on this bad boy. You know, I'm very proud of it. It works to perfection. Like I said, you guys should go ahead and pick up one. And for those of you guys who are running trolling motors that either I didn't mention in the video or that I mentioned in the video and I haven't been able to get a lot of testing done on, the email address is in the description. I would really appreciate working with you guys on this. Hit up the website at www.basssniper.com. It's been a long journey getting this thing out. Put in the work to make sure that it works right for you guys. And hey, I stand behind it. Hopefully you guys can get one and enjoy the ease of fishing. I saw a guy on the water today with a little separate pole. He was sticking it in and out of the water. I'm like, oh God, that's just it looks like it's a pain, you know, but you know, it's to each their own. But you know, I highly recommend you guys going to get one of these, not just because it's my product. I honestly think that it's going to help a lot of fishermen, and it frees up a lot of headache. You know, just put it in, put it out. You know, and go about your business. You got your foot control. It's lightweight. It doesn't even weigh much. It's durable. I mean, I ran this thing. You can probably see a little scratch right there. I ran this thing into that wall that I was fishing by. Not today, but another day. And I'm talking about I hit it pretty dang good and ate it up. And I was like, oh, and it left a little bitty scratch on there. So this thing is durable, man. And so if that's what you're concerned about, do not be. It comes with a 2-year warranty. Here in the beginning stages, you know, we do what we can. We're all in this together trying to figure out, you know, better ways to fish. And I'm just an average fisherman just like most of us. I don't claim to be an expert or pro or anything. I do what I do. I have fun, you know. Till next time, guys, visit the links and never let up.